I put it around, I press it to the ceiling. Hey guys, Brad here, and today we're gonna look at some extension poles. I'm gonna show you how to set up a poly wall for, say, doing a renovation, and the different ways of doing it with these particular poles. I'll also show you a couple different zippers that I like to use. So first, let's take a look at the poles. Now I have 3 different sizes here that I use quite regularly. This is the shortest one I have, which is at the shortest, it's 2 foot 5 inches, and fully extended, it goes to 4 foot 1 inch. All right. Now, the main pole that I use the most in most homes is this middle guy here. And this is 5 foot 3 to 9 foot 5. Now, this is a really good pole for anything, you know, most homes are 8 foot high. So that's why I have mostly these poles. Now, for the larger jobs, we've got the largest pole they make is 6 foot 9 to 13 foot 3. So a really good pole, I should say. But ultimately, I'm always using these middle guys right here. So with sort of the application that I use these for is if I'm hoarding off a room or a stairwell or just a section of the house, I will put these up in a row and I'll attach poly to it, either 6 mil, depending on what we're doing, or, you know, middle weight poly. And they can attach the top and the bottom. You can put on zipper doors, and then you can kind of quarantine different parts of the house. So you can buy these online. We'll leave a link down below for the Amazon link. Or you can get them at Home Depot. Probably other places too, but I'm not really aware of them. Now, as far as little bits and pieces that come with it, we've got a larger head. So that will screw in on the top here. And these just unscrew, if you're wondering. We're gonna go all the way here. Okay, and then you can put on larger heads, and you can do that if you just want to cover more surface area or you just need to support something larger. But what's great about these larger heads is if you're putting up cabinetry. So for example, set this on your counter, or, well, this one's a little tall to be a counter, but your floor, let's say we're using this pole here, then you can slide this up to where you need, right underneath the base of your cabinet here, and then you just turn the whole unit and it will extend this up, or you turn it the other way and it'll lower it down. So they're really good for that. I know there's other models out there that I would probably recommend more than these for doing cabinetry, and they have a foot pedal on them. It's not by this brand. I don't actually own any of them, but if you're into cabinetry, I would probably recommend going for an upgrade in your pole. But if you're just doing hoarding with poly inside a home, then I would recommend these because they're, I think, like half the price of those ones with the foot pedal. And then next we've got these clips that clip onto the pole itself, and that's to hold plastic around the pole if you want. All right. A lot of the times I don't use these because I like to have my poly mostly attached on the top to the ceiling and on the bottom to the floor. So if you use these in the middle, then it really pulls the poly and it just sort of makes things difficult. So then next we've got the zipper door. Now, this brand they sell at Home Depot right next to the Task, and I'm gonna say these are not the greatest zipper doors. The sticky tape that's on these that you apply to the poly itself, it fails over time. It's not that great. It's definitely a one-time use, as all zipper doors are, but it's just gonna let you down. So I don't really use these anymore. And this is, yeah, well, you can see the brand, you saw it there. So this is the brand I use. It's Zip Wall. Now, you can get these on Amazon as well. We'll leave a link down below. But I buy these from our local hazmat store, and you can buy them in a box. They are not cheap. They cost around, I think, 20 bucks each for each zipper, that is, not each box. So the thing that's really nice about these is, number one, the adhesion is super sticky. Next is the actual zipper itself. It's a really nice zipper. The material is like a canvas material. It's not plastic, so it's not going to tear on us. It's just a really, really good zipper. I'm not going to actually set this one up just because it is a $20 touch, but essentially the way this works is, well, we'll get into that actually after I put up the poly wall. Then I'll demonstrate the zipper. All right, so let's do that. Let's set up a poly wall. Watch me struggle through this, because usually I have a second guy to give me a hand, and makes it a lot easier. All right, so here's our poly. Now, I've found over the years it's best to put it around the top first and then push the top against the ceiling and extend it down for the poly to connect to the base of this pole. So I'm 6'1", and this is even a little tricky for me sometimes, but I just got to get situated here. You know, watch me fumble. All right, we can do this. All right, so I put it around, I press it to the ceiling, I hold up here, I drop the base. Now this is where I'd have a second guy, and he would be putting the plastic underneath the bottom, but I don't have a second guy, so I'm gonna use my mad skills here. So you twist it. Now that's tight. All right. Then take your next one. Now I'm going to use a shorter pole. Again, we'll get it up there. Now this is the important part. When you're setting this up, you want this to be tight. If you're not tight at the top, then your wall's not going to be tight. Okay? So that's pretty important. Now, like I said, having two guys would be a lot easier. So this poly is also cut really crooked. So bear with me. So these plastic clips, if I wanted to attach the poly, you just go like that, all right? And you can do that all the way up. And it sticks on just like that. Now, see, we're a little short on the bottom. Now that's because I have too much at the top. And that's mainly because I don't have a second guy here giving me a hand. Because it is tricky, because this stuff is slick and it'll pull out on you. All right. Yeah, I'm just not going to go for it. But you get the idea. Once it's under your pole on the bottom and the top, then you're good to go. Then I always tape this line right here. I always put a strip of tape right here onto the ceiling, and then I'll tape the floor as well, so that you're really containing all that dust. Okay, then once you're all set up, we'll just make this nice and tight. So once you're all set up, then you would apply your zipper. Okay. Then you would take your zipper, open it up, you peel off the white backing on here, and then you would just stick it on here. And I always leave it a little long. Okay, I make sure it goes right to the bottom. If you glue these on high up, like up here, what will happen is when you walk through the door, you'll catch this bottom 6-inch of poly and you'll rip it, and it's just defeating this whole purpose. So I always get poly that's longer than 8 feet. So get 10-foot poly or whatever, so that you can have a bit draping on the floor and more on the top, and that will allow you to kind of contain that dust a little better. But once this is stuck on, okay, then they've got this tool here. You would open up the zipper and you would put this through, and then it just cuts perfectly like this. So if you can imagine, it'd be a lot better if I actually did it for you guys, but like I said, these are 20 bucks and I don't feel like spending 20 bucks. So that would be stuck on here. I'm opening up the zipper like this. I push this through here. Okay, I push it through and I'm cutting. And what it's doing is as you can see here, it's cutting like a nice strip out. So, because the other problem with the other zipper I was showing you is that it doesn't give you a tool like that. And so you cut one line and then the poly will always get stuck in the edge of the zipper, and it becomes a huge problem, like major problem. If you're doing this, there's nothing worse than like after using the door 10 times and then things start to stick and then it's just garbage. Like you can't use it anymore because it just doesn't work. But these, they've really perfected it. So you just cut this right out, and then that's that. And then let's say that's the top of our zipper. There'd be the zipper here. Now you can go in and out no problem. They're amazing that way. The other cool thing is if you want to take it a step further, you would put a zipper door on the left side and you'd put a zipper door on the right side, and you'd do that cut like I just did. But then you would use these hooks, okay? And the hooks, they poke through like this, all right? And another one here. So then when you undo the zipper on the left and right side, you can roll this up and then it will hook and sit right in here. So then you can just walk in and out and you don't have to be constantly going like this. So the way I showed you is with one zipper, but if you want to spend 40 bucks per door, do 2 zippers, roll it up and mount it on this. A lot of the times in high sort of traffic areas, we will use 2 zippers because, especially for the homeowners, if they want to get into the room at night, let's say we're working in a kitchen or we have to close off a hallway, we'll definitely use the 2 so that the homeowners aren't screwing around with the zippers because they don't like them. And if they are using them, typically when you come back in the morning, they've stepped on them somehow, it's pulled down, the dog has gotten into it, whatever. It's a disaster. So you're better off to spend the money, get the 2 on there, make it right, have it go all the way up, set the client up for the night, and then in the morning when you come back, you know your door's still going to be standing. I'm never worried about these poles falling down, but the zipper doors, they always get trashed. Now, I will say this, with the poles, one thing you got to be careful about is you do not want to over crank them, because if you do that, you can get nail pops on the ceiling. So what I always look for is an area in the house where I can set these up sort of where the wall meets the ceiling, because typically you will have wood there, and so when you're screwing these up, you're going to be screwing right into wood backing essentially, and you will not cause a drywall pop. So that's the last thing you want to do is create more work for yourself. We're trying to protect the house here. So always aim for, you know, a roof truss or a corner where there's going to be backing, and don't over tighten these, because they'll go right through the drywall. If you just keep screwing and screwing and screwing, they'll just puncture right through the drywall, and then you got a bigger mess. So keep that in mind when you're using this type of system. The other thing I also use this little guy for, because he's kind of useless in the homes, is my trailer. Now, my trailer is 16 feet long and I don't know, 7 feet wide or something like that. So I've got shelves on both sides, and if I'm picking up sheet goods, I can't lay them down flat, and I don't want to put them in my truck. So what I'll do is I'll stand them up, and then I can wedge this between, say, the sheet and my trailer or the cabinet in the trailer, and I can crank this, and then it'll spread it a bit, and it keeps those sheets locked in place. And I've never had one of these pop out. I've never had a sheet fall over. I've been doing this. I've been using these. I've been pulling a trailer for like, I don't know, 15, 16 years. And I've had these that long and never had a sheet fall over. So it does work. You just got to make sure that when you angle it down a little bit, and it'll hold. Or even if you just go straight, but if you're kind of like this, they tend to fall down and pop out. So I'm always angling it down a little, and it seems to hold pretty good. Those are my 2 cents on, you know, moving sheet goods in your trailers. All right, guys, so I'd love to hear some comments, what you think about poles. What other poles are you guys using out there? Because I know there's a few different brands. I've just sort of invested in all these task ones, so I'm not willing to go out and get the foot pedal ones, even though I like the foot pedal ones more. They're just way more expensive than this brand here. And this brand holds up. I've got a ton of these, and they really do hold up. So yeah, I'd love to hear some comments. Sorry I couldn't give you the full demo. It's a lot easier, like I said, with 2 guys. And if I had a little bit longer poly, it would have been a little easier too. But, you know, whatever. You guys get it. So yeah, leave me some comments, subscribe, hit that notify bell, thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. And until next time, keep on crushing it, and we'll catch you later.